They're coming through the closet. They're coming through the doors. They're coming out of the basement. But I don't know what's in store. So I said no. Because we're up against the giants. You could see them, cause they're 9 feet tall tonight. They're coming over later to take a full report. They ask me some stupid questions and then walk out of the door. But I said, no, you can't just leave now. The monsters will lingering, oh, oh. They're waiting for you cops to leave so they could make me stay. But I won't go, you know, because we're up against the giants.
And welcome to Musings, Rants, and Guitars, November 29th, 2020, or March 437th of the year 2020, in the middle of the pandemic where we are all stuck down in our basements or living rooms. And we want to welcome a special guest, Jordan MacDonald from the band Texas King. And no, they are not from Texas. They are from up north in Canada. Jordan, welcome aboard.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Jordan, thank you so much for coming on the show. As we were chatting earlier, as we were prepping for the show, you won us over as fans, and that's a big deal. Just a little background. We saw Jordan and his band, the Texas Kings, open up for Big Wreck in New York City, and of course, going to see Big Wreck, we want to see Big Wreck, but Jordan and his band won us over. They were energetic. The songs are great. It was a great time. It was a great show. I think we were. I hate to say surprised, but we were pleasantly surprised about the songs and the music. So thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Yeah, what a great night, Gramercy.
Yeah.
Beautiful room, beautiful night in New York City. A great way to be introduced to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, I wanted to bring that up also. If you go to see a band and you've never heard of that opening act, it doesn't cost you anything. You already got the ticket. Go watch them, have a drink or not, or just chill and just watch them. You might see some amazing stuff. And with you guys, I can tell you, I've seen some incredible bands that opened up that became huge, and I'm hoping that happens with you too. I did go see Cheap Trick open for Utopia in 1977. Okay, Cheap Trick didn't even have Budokan out, so they were openers. I saw The Script open up for Paul McCartney before they were big. You never know who you're going to see. I saw Def Leppard way early on.
Wow.
So I am hoping that you guys, catch fire and you're as big as anything, and this show will send us over the top, I hope, anyway.
Yeah, man, exactly. Just keep grinding it out till whatever happens.
Yeah. So I gotta say, probably the biggest thing, I was a little taken aback at first because we're watching them, and Big Wreck is all about the musicianship, and Ian has this incredible voice and is an incredible guitar player. And these guys, it's about the songs. And then I'm watching them, and Jordan, you're tall. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
Yeah, okay. And the rest of your band is like normal humans, like us. and you're big, and you're moving around, and
You're
so
moving.
captivating. Yeah, I mean, moving. Not like you're not moving around like you're a big guy. You're moving like you're moving. And it was awesome to watch. I was a little like, wow, what are these guys doing? And then I'm catching a parts of a song like, wow, that's got a nice hook. This got a nice hook. And there was one that caught my ear, which I'll talk about later. But and it made me go and download their entire catalog, on one of the streaming services, and wow, good stuff. It was a great surprise for me to catch another band that I really got into. So
thank you. Yeah, we need more people like you guys who are down to go see the full show. So
yeah,
you guys coming
absolutely.
early.
Yeah. And it must have been a little intimidating for you. You're talking about, I know Big Rick, we're here in America, and they're not as big here, but I know they're big up with you in Canada,
Right, and you were doing the big shows there with them in Canada, so, you'd seen some of that. But so okay, you hooked up on that tour. So tell us a little bit of history of the Texas Kings.
Yeah.
So me and the guitarist Colin and the bass player Phil, we all went to college together in London, Ontario. So that's where we met. We met at this program at Fanshawe College called Music Industry Arts. So there's it's like a recording college. Like they got some console boards, and there's production class, music business class, engineering class, all this stuff. They make it into a program, right? So we met. We were in different groups, and there was some semester end concert that the program was putting on, and I was a solo artist at the time, and I was asked to find band members to put together this song with. And I picked Colin and Phil and another drummer at the time, but our drummer now, Melvin Murray, is our permanent guy. So he would have been who you saw on the tour. He's our guy.
Yeah.
And so we met in college, and as soon as we graduated, we started touring full time and just kind of basically sleeping in the van behind the venues and waking up, having a coffee, and going to the next place. And that's kind of where we left off when COVID hit. We've been touring for years, and
right.
Yeah, we didn't really have any intention on stopping.
No, probably not. It's fascinating. We, I had toured in the back of the van too, but it's a little warmer in America, sleeping behind the venue than it is up in Canada. So how were you guys managing that?
Yeah, man. We on that tour was the first time we ever slid off the road.
Oh, really?
Right when we got up here, it was winter.
Yeah.
So that was our first trailer tour too, because we had to bring so much luggage. It was so long that we needed more room in the van, so we had to put everything in the trailer. Trailer caught some momentum, spun us off the road. Everything was fine. We still made the show that night.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we missed sound check and everything. That was a crazy night. But yeah, don't get me wrong. We do have a lot of friends built up now, and there were nights where we'd have to
Oh, sure, yeah.
The bass player's dad would have a friend somewhere, or vice versa. My parents would know somebody, and there was a lot of hey, can we sleep on your floor?
Yeah, we know that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, remember, next time you guys are down here, we got you hooked up, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
You got it.
We don't have to go stay in the.
You can stay at Tommy's house.
Yeah, with the kids and the dog and the rubber chicken.
Nice. Yeah. We always stay at this Howard Johnson in New Jersey. I know that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's the only one left.
Yeah, I think so. Right. So, what have you guys been doing? Obviously, you're not touring. What have you been doing during the pandemic?
Well, it's kind of funny. I was saying this to someone else the other day. We were kind of prepping to get back in the studio and start working on the next offering of material anyway. So at first, the whole thing when they were take a month, or how they said 2 weeks.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You're going to be good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, 2 weeks, man.
Great,
we got you.
Cool, sweet. And then, so at first, we were just going to take it as a break and, put our feet up, enjoy ourselves. And then found out the whole country was closing down. And so I immediately flew out here to BC. I'm in BC now. They're all in Ontario.
Okay.
And so I'm out here with my lady and our dogs and stuff, and we've just been chilling. But what we started doing is, and man, bless the technology age we're in.
Yeah.
We were able to fully pre-pro the record over Zoom, just like this.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a big document of notes, and then I was actually flying back and forth quite a bit for a while, like once it became safe to do so, and then
Oh, you're in country, so yeah.
yeah, in country, so it's all good anyway. And then I would go and we demoed out 20 songs
Nice.
with me there, and then it was kind of the situation. I sort of halfway through got back into Logic and like producing little demos here just to get my thoughts out, and so I came back here, sent over a couple of those. Those got added. So then the next time I was home, we kind of tracked those out. So stuff like that. So we're still in pretty good standing now, and we've just kind of been calling around, figuring out producers and stuff like that. And then I guess we just had another sort of travel ban happen here in BC. So I'm gonna go in January now back to Ontario. We're gonna get working on recording the actual tracks. And
Okay,
so
good.
we're still figuring out if it's going to be a full record or an EP or just what kind of collection it's going to be. But there's a story to be told, and we'll figure out a nice, pretty bow to put on the package and deliver it at some point. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
We had a kind of running joke. We have a lot of friends. Long Island, we call it the land of cover bands here. It's huge here. Cover bands, tribute bands. We had the whole thing. And they're always making fun of, I'm in an original band. Now, I've done the cover band, I've done the tribute band. Tommy's in a tribute band now. And, we're finally laughing. It's like, okay, so now the cover bands know what it's like to be an original band, not have any work, and nobody wants to listen to you. So,
right. Three people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the good thing is, it's original bands. We like to work on our material anyway. So we've had 9 months to just work on material and get ready for, that's what we're doing too, is we're just, recording. And
I think that's been a good thing creatively for me is like, there's no time limit. A lot of the time you're like home for 3 weeks or something before you have to play again or whatever. And it's like,
absolutely,
you got this window of time where you can like grab a pen and paper and start writing. And it's like, you run out of time. And I think it was like after a few months of COVID where I was just like, chilling that I was like, oh man, like I got plenty of time, I should sit down and start writing some stuff out. And then it just like started happening, and
right,
like it's like the lack of pressure on it all was really nice. I think for like I spent longer on one song than I ever have, for example.
Yeah,
that's cool. So you've had the opportunity to do a creative process where you're relaxed. Right.
Yeah.
You got to get this done. I got to get this done. I mean, that's always been, how I've worked, in the studio, all right, I got to get the guitar parts. I got to get this, this solo's got to be, and I have like 3 days to figure out the whole thing. And it's got to be different than, it's got to fit in as a 2 guitar thing, so.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like the fact, that you had the time to do that. And I think it's, it's good for, those of us who are artists to have a little bit of brain time where it's not so much, I have to do this now. Because we are inherently lazy.
And even like, it was the first time in a long time I picked up the guitar and like not played Texas King songs too. Like,
right.
Or the same set of covers that I was doing at my bar gigs and stuff, it was like between always being touring or always playing the same pub sets, it was like when there is time to not play guitar, I'm probably going to not play guitar. Like that was happening a lot to me. And so I think that same thing in vice versa, like when COVID hit, I was like, all right, well, you can only play so much freaking video games, like I should pick up my guitar and just actually want to play like something, right? And then you start coming up with stuff, and then it reignites, So
absolutely, very true, very true.
Definitely reignites, and we've had the opportunity to reignite a lot of stuff. I've spent, I have, started doing, one of the cover bands, but I have spent a lot of time woodshedding and reviewing all the things musically that I know, and working on that. I should be working more on songs, but I've been working very much on my musical knowledge again in the technique.
He calls it musical knowledge. I call it wankery, but it's. Okay.
I am just wankery away. The other thing we talked about, with one of our friends is, there's actually cats that can actually play Eruption. actual physical cats at this
Yeah.
point on YouTube. So
Everybody's
I
watching
need to
YouTube.
get past that. So
Well, I know there are 5-year-old kids playing way better than I can now. So
no question. So yeah. So
we
I'm
had
proud of
we have a
yourself.
couple of chime-ins quick from one of our live feeds. Frank Tassielli wanted to say Tea Party, another great Canadian band. I guess
Great
guess he's assuming you Canadians all know each other and it's just like one big happy family. So he wanted to get that out.
Nice.
Right.
And
there's that one town.
Yeah,
You
I'm going to
gotta
bring
go
up
there.
that. I had that picture that you sent me that we put in for the promo is a beautiful picture, and Xavier Fry said, "Great picture." You want to give a shout out to your photographer on that one? That was great.
Oh yeah, that's my good buddy Keith Tanner. He's an Ontario guy, and he's a great photographer. And he came out, followed us around that day around the venue, and I think it was Guelph, Ontario.
Yeah,
and that was actually the first night. That was the first night that Ian came up for flowers with us. Actually,
really? Wow.
So
That's. I mean, I couldn't have picked out a more, you picture than that one. I mean, I watched that whole show, and that is you without a doubt. It's that you got that attitude. You can see there's action. There's people there. You're playing for the crowd, man. You're a front man. It's great.
Yeah, man. I miss that feeling, being up in front of everybody. And that was a great night. And it's good to have those long legs.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
and you enhance it with those short pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the Michael Jackson thing on with the white socks, man. They stand out. That works. It works.
Gives you a couple more inches.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah. So you've been writing, which is great, and you've had the opportunity. Could you imagine having this lockdown? You're younger than us, but 10 years ago, like we would be so stuck. Right? Everybody's cell plan would be wiped out in the first week, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to make a single phone call. Texting would be non-existent, right? There'd be no Netflix, right? You'd be waiting for the delivery of the DVD to your house, I mean, we've, as miserable as this has been, we've had the opportunity to put on this show, to do recording, to do collaboration with people, even, and have conversations with, wonderful musicians like yourself. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
People are miserable enough right now. Could you imagine what it would have been like 10 years ago in the winter for this shit?
Yeah.
So
I could. Yeah. I mean, like it's been really good to be able to keep yourselves busy, whether it's like productively, like with having like stuff like DAWs and recording software and all that stuff, or even like just it's good we have iPhones,
Yeah.
How much time I just spend looking at gear videos and whatever.
Way too much
making
time.
guy on
Way too
YouTube.
much time. Yeah.
learning how to speak giraffe.
Yeah. I can speak giraffe in 3 languages now. It's awesome.
and, the thing, like even my kids were the video games. There's the communication on those. You're actually not far from your friend. It's not as if you're sitting there playing Atari. You're playing with a group of people. I mean, you're trying to kill a group of people, but that's not the really important.
Still.
You're interacting with people.
Yeah. It is.
Absolutely. So let's go into our discussion a little bit. The idea behind this was to have a discussion about backline equipment, whether it be a partial backline, like sometimes you go to a show, a gig. This is for the musicians, obviously. Sometimes there's a cabinet there. Sometimes there's an amp there, and you are told that's the amp you have to use. And that doesn't happen too often. But I do know that I've done gigs at the bitter end, famous place in New York, and this happens a lot in the New York City gigs. The places as small as not a lot. A lot of guys don't have cars there, so they're traveling around with maybe a very small pedal board, and in a guitar and a gig bag, and that's what they're going to a gig with. So they're dealing with backlines all the time, and so more often than not, it's probably a little Fender, or it could be a crate, it could be almost anything. So we wanted to talk about what do you do to combat that? Like Tommy and I are pretty much Marshall guys. We get that. That's what our bands do, is we get that Marshall sound. So, Tommy, do you want to talk about what do you do if you have a gig and there's a cabinet there and you got to plug your head into it?
Well, Jordan, you've probably come across it. You said you were doing cover gigs and everything, and you probably, everybody beat their way up into this thing. And you walk into a club where you can only bring the minimum amount of stuff. And, your primary gear is, a Marshall head into a cabinet. And then the fear is, you walk in and you're plugging into a cabinet, you don't know what the ohms are. The back plate has been broken off, the wiring is hanging out the back, and the sound net says just plug your amp in here. And you don't know really what to do. So, not to be an overly technical geek half the time, but I depending upon what the gig is, I'll bring a meter with me and read the cabinet to see what it is before I plug anything in. But I will normally bring something. I have light heads, heavy heads, depending upon weight, and also one of those tiny orange amps, which now comes in a gig bag with me. You can see. Joey's up there on top.
Yeah, those little lunchbox orange.
Yeah, the lunchbox orange. Just that, you can make them work, right? So and they're really forgiving as far as cabinets go. They'll take like a 4 to a 16. You can just plug the thing in and it'll self-adjust. A lot of amps will do that now. Like the Fuse and Kettner automatically adjusts the ohms, and so usually I'll do something like that. And then worst case, we've talked about. And Joey will talk about the fly rig, but usually a really good distortion pedal like this is a Love Pedal Plexi 800, which has a great sweep from like the Plexi sound all the way to an 800. And this works great with any clean Fender amp. And I always keep this with a battery in it in my bag in case, the monster pedal board fails, or the smaller pedal board fails, or the smaller pedal board fails, depending upon the gig. I do the Aerosmith tribute thing, so I have this huge board that for the first 5 albums, I only need this, and then for the albums after that,
I need this stuff. Yeah.
I need 2 different chorus pedals, 2 different Leslie pedals. I need a talk box. I need a reverse, reverb. So for all that stuff. So that's big, and then it works my way down to just something simple like this. Which is just another full tone, that's a full drive 3, the delay, which will give me a few different delays, and a tuner, which works really well. And this is like a really good tube screamer, this full drive. So that covers a lot of ground. So, Jordan, what's your go-to amp that you've been using? I know we talked about the Saldana. We'll talk about that incident shortly. But,
What do you use on stage?
Yeah, what are you using?
I play a 410 DeVille Fender.
Yeah.
See, now you're lucky because often those will be in clubs because people, sold a million of them.
Or at least something close, You get that.
My first amp was just a Hot Rod Deluxe. So those are always at Backline gigs. Like
absolutely.
I'm always running into the thing and being like, Colin, I get the Fender, like, please. He's way more versatile. First of all, he's a way better player, but he's way more versatile in his ability. Like Colin's able to just get a good clean tone, and then his board's a little more spaceshipy than mine. Like that board you just held up, the delay and drive, that's basically all I have.
That's my simple, and then it just keeps growing from there.
Depending
upon the gig, so to one that's
exactly.
Not Ian,
I use a couple of boards myself, so
so it's for me, it's just a tuner, a delay, a carbon copy, and then it's not even
never go wrong with a carbon copy, man. They are the shit, man.
The only reason I have this DL4 on here is because I didn't have another carbon copy. I only have 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
My
great pedal.
It's a great pedal.
My small board, actually, you can see it right there. My small board has the carbon copy on it, This is the one I do more for the bitter end gigs and that type of thing. You know what? Actually, I will. I'm going to demo that first.
My medium has one.
Yes, right.
There's the medium, and then the big
Nice.
one. So.
Whoa, I've never seen a teal OCD.
Oh, don't get me started. I have 5 OCDs. This is the germanium one.
He's got
nice.
OCD on his OCDs. So
I do. I like to.
yeah,
I run all 5, so it sounds like a Boss Metal Zone. But yeah, it's that one. I got. He had this great sale. It's a blem. No, maybe it's a blem. I don't know, but anyway, it was like $100 off right from Mike Fuller, and I'm like, okay. It sounds great. It's same sound, only smoother. It's really, really nice.
Right.
If you find one, get it, because it's a great sounding pedal. And I just put that, I actually AB'd with somebody a 2.1, which I had gotten. 2.1? Which he had hand redone these over the COVID thing. So
Okay.
to do with his mod, that sounds better. And he says, this sounds good. That sounds better.
Nice.
And then, I need to have a red one because it's red.
That's awesome, man. Is that one less
It's-
smooth?
It's just a 2.0. This is just a plain, it's
Okay.
red.
It's just a red one. Cool.
And then a 1.7. And
Wait. You got to ask him about his fucking batteries.
no. I
What-
do.
what
He's got a
type of
battery collection.
Yeah, I got a battery.
He's got a 9
I'm
volt
like-
battery collection.
I'm like Eric Johnson. I have like 8,000 different batteries that I use for different.
He's got some
sounds.
problems,
That
man.
one. This
He
is my favorite one. This one's got a little bird on it. Anyway, I have issues.
Are those all dead?
No, they're all live. They're all running it.
Yeah.
If it goes, they're all at like 9.1. So if I ever need them, I do. Some that are actually like, here's the Dan Electro. I don't know if this one's good.
That
but
is-
it's just
that's-
cool.
That's the
Yeah.
geekiest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
You meter each battery?
Yeah.
That is-
He's got some problems, man. I'm telling you. He's got
That's
some problems.
meticulous.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So
It is. But, we go back and, we've had this conversation too. Hendrix had really shitty batteries and really shitty cables.
Yeah.
And it was still Hendrix. So we're buying these, handmade, artesian, hipster made in, the woods cables. And, he was using these Radio Shack pieces of crap.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Part of the tone, I guess.
yeah.
It's all him, man.
Yeah.
Plus it was part of the set. If you look at Eric Johnson's setup, he uses some of those crappy old gray cables in there to get that tone too. So,
I think this is one you don't have, Tommy. Look, there's one that you don't have.
where did you get that?
So I'll demo real quick because I'm using, let's see, that Supro back there, which is kind of a cleanish amp. Okay.
So this is what you'd walk in like on even like a Fender Bill or something
Yeah,
like
real
that.
real standard. You hear I got the carbon copy going back there because you have to.
Yeah.
So basically, I have an OCD clone. This is the Ultimate Drive, which is
You like that?
yeah. Somehow ended up on my board, and I keep buying OCDs and keeps reselling them. So I ended up using the OCD, but it sounds great on the. So
Yeah.
And
you
you
have
can
that
get
on the
through.
board that can give you a lot of room at a gig that has maybe a Fender,
So
or
you have
something.
is the Ultimate Drive thing that you have like the Joyco copy of the Fuzz Roches Demon?
That's the one.
Man, I have that on my pedal board.
Yeah,
You
isn't
guys
that great?
suck. Buy
Yeah.
OCDs. What's the
Yeah.
matter with you?
I love that thing. I bought it off our producer for like 30
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah,
Joey
I
loves
think you
it.
get them new
Joey
for 30
loves
bucks.
it.
I think he made money on you. Yeah,
Worth
that's
it,
exactly
man.
what it is. That was the one. Somebody was. I remember reading this on TGP. Somebody was gooping the insides and repainting them and selling them as a boutique pedal for like $200. It was a big thing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I will never confess to that.
Yeah. No, it was a manufacturer. It wasn't, he claimed that he was hand building these and he gooped them up, he put that big pile of goop in there so you couldn't see what it was. Somebody went through it and pulled it all off and said, "It's a fucking Joy Ultimate Drive."
Wow.
Yeah. So he was making like a 200% profit at least.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a nice little sound out of it.
Yeah. I love that pedal.
It's cool. Now I have to get one.
Yeah. Well, it's just an OCD.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
So the other thing that you can use for this is real handy. And if you're really talented like Richie Kotzen, you have them make this for you. This is actually upside down. There you go.
Oh, no, everybody should have turned their computers over.
They should have.
What are you
You just
doing?
flip your screen. So, and it's also got my settings on there too. So write them down now.
Ooh,
Okay.
Screenshot.
So yeah, this is a fly rig made by is it Tech 21, right?
You know what? It's smaller. I don't have one. I need one. But, in the catalogs and everything, they look bigger. You're holding it in your hand, and it is it is not even as wide as a pedal.
Yeah.
Is it?
No. Here's that same OCD you're holding next to it. So look at the size, right?
Wow, that can go right in your gig bag.
Yeah. Honestly, I have done gigs with this, the orange, and a guitar. Threw them in a double guitar bag, and that was it. Now this has. I'm going through a. That sounds like a Fender. Very clean. Okay. So this has a Sans amp into it. This will liven it up a little bit. Okay, you can put a little delay on there if you want. It's actually got a tap tempo delay. And that's nice, huh?
Oh, not a bad sounding delay either.
No, it's a good little delay. And then you have drive. And a boost.
Nice.
Yeah. So you can use this all day long,
No.
That really
it works.
solves if you're a guy who's like me, who's used to having some switches in the channel.
Yeah.
Like I like
Yeah.
going from drive to more drive and from clean to drive, and
Absolutely.
that would solve that if you get to a gig and you have one channel only.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Kotzen was using those with like a plexi.
Yeah,
Right?
uses them with a plexi. Absolutely.
So he's
That's
got
the
a
only thing he
crank
uses.
plexi with that. You got 3 channels. You got a great setup. I mean, you're not going to walk into a club and have a plexi, but even that with a just a twin would be just killer. Or any of the Fender DeVilles and stuff.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing, that Sans amp is really, you have a lot of tone shaping. Obviously, I just put it on. I didn't change any of the tones at all. But it's got such an amount of sweep on it. It has reverb built into it. Obviously, if you can get something with a delay. The only thing I don't like, that doesn't have a tuner on it. The new one does.
The new one
and
has
it has
out.
modulation, and the new one has a fuzz too. That's ridiculous. It's got a toggle for a fuzz.
Wow.
So it can go from distortion or fuzz. So
and there's a few different versions of that too. There's the guy from Rammstein.
Rammstein, yeah.
Yeah, he has one which has a killer distortion on it, right? That almost Mesa Boogie recto distortion.
Okay.
So with you. So as we were saying, powering it like I do, and because you never know when that might be important to talk about with girls. So, but
Xavier's chiming in. In fact, he's going back a little bit. He says he was listening to the Chandelier. Says pretty cool, and Sia didn't mind you taking her song. I'm just kidding. I
Yeah,
listened to that song too. You got me hooked on your stuff, dude. I can say
Yeah.
you guys are great.
thanks,
And
man.
I'm hoping, that we could turn some more people on. So the next time you're here, we'll get you a gig on your own. Don't worry about it. We got
Cool.
you. We'll help you hook up. All right. So
Nice.
good job. So the other guys in your band, what else? What do they use? We know that there's a Soldano story coming up at some point, but
Yeah, like the bass player for any bass, he's a Fender bass guy, so he has a jazz and a P bass.
mhm.
Plays an Ampeg SVT Classic head
Okay.
through a 410 cab. So not quite a fridge, which I love when we have venues
Yeah.
with stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is the perfect someone else is moving it amp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I bet
Yeah,
they're always trying to hook you up. Like, hey, Jordan's big. He can help us move this, right?
Yeah, loading's a big part of the whole thing. So
Absolutely.
it's always fun. We all load and stuff, but
Yeah.
and then he's on the dark glass stuff for his pedals.
Okay.
He's got
Yeah.
the B7K and the Alpha Omega. He's got one of them always on, and then I think it's the Alpha Omega he hits on for his kind of drive signal. So
Cool. Very good.
yeah, and then Colin's our kind of gear geek, I guess you could say. His list is much longer than the others.
Right.
He's got columns, so he has like he's got the Dynacomp, the Wampler, and the Exotic SP in his compression section.
Wow.
He's
Wow.
got
It's a
Yes.
compression section.
Yeah. He's got a compression section. Like, I don't have a compressor anymore because I thought
Yeah,
it took up too much room.
he's a pretty organized guy, so he's got
Yeah.
his overdrive section here. Now, mind you, these are all kind of like on a rotation for him. So
Yeah.
like I don't know what's on his board right now, but he's got Soul Food, he's got the
Mhm.
Tumnus from Wampler, Tube Screamer TS9. We did have a TS808, but it got kind of like destroyed over the years. It drowned a few times and came back to life.
Right.
So
Yeah, we talked about drowning pedals. With those people just coming up and wanting to talk to you with beer.
yeah,
Yeah. That's always fun. I like when they come up and talk to you with a pitcher and then they forget they're holding a pitcher. That's really good.
yeah. Well,
they go
honestly,
lean down.
I've knocked over a pitcher or two of water and of beer in my day, and
Yep.
it's funny to. It's not funny. It's scary to see your pedals float
Yeah.
for a second. But yeah, he's got the full tone, full drive 2, the OCD. He's got a Rat, Big Muff, and the Green Rhino. So lots of choices there.
Nice.
And then I'm jealous of his Strymon stuff because he's got the El Capistan and the Mobius. And it just sounds great. Whenever we do guitars, I'm always like, hey, can I just use your pedal board? Because it's literally he's got a ton of options. And should we talk about the drum gear? Or who cares?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. Yeah. So our drummer plays a YC kit. Have you ever heard of that company?
No, I don't think I have.
No.
It's a guy who does backline and studio teching work in Canada. A lot of the bigger bands like Arkells and Glorious Sons. I don't know if you've heard of any of those guys,
Yep.
but
Mhm.
they'll have this guy. He's a buddy of ours, Jordan, come out, and so he does a lot of the kits for a lot of the bands in Canada. Anyway, so it's a 4-piece. He plays Las Cabos sticks, and then he's a 3-cymbal guy. He's got 3 Zildjians, a 21-inch Sweet Ride,
Mhm.
20-inch Cluster Crash, and a 14 for his hats there, 14-inch K Customs.
Wow.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Good. Yeah.
What's funny, we don't really get that much into gear, and it just reminded me of a story, and I'll tell a story really quick. The Zildjian company is based in Massachusetts, and the son who owns the company, or owned it for years, lived by my aunt, and he lost his license because he's a maniac. So he took his chauffeur's license from his chauffeur and started driving the limo around because he couldn't drive. So he was doing that because he couldn't get anywhere. The president of Zildjian.
Wow.
pretty strange. My aunt was like, he's very funny, but you know, he's a wicked drunk and keeps getting his license taken away.
Wow.
Maybe you
Anyway.
just start getting a ride some places. You know?
Yeah. Now,
I don't know. I always thought that was the best confined place to be and stay there.
Yeah.
your drummer is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, thanks. We agree. We love him.
Yeah, you know, like you know, my wife loves to listen to music too, and you know, I'm listening to your songs and I'm listening to your voice and your inflections and stuff, and she says to me, she's like, yeah, listen to that drummer, and just really digging it, you know. And I remember we were chatting yesterday on the phone. You said that he kind of drives you and makes you kind of move. That's kind of where you get part of your stage presence from. That was
man, for
that was
sure.
pretty cool, man. That was very nice.
He's more than just like backbeat for me
yeah.
at least. Like drums was my first instrument when I was like 6. I started drumming, and
Yeah.
so it's always been a big part of even when I'm writing a song, I'd drum beat in my head before I strum a chord, you know. So for me to find a drummer that, you know, checks off all the boxes, play to the click, like play to the song, like, and then also like it takes a little more than maybe like the average guy to just get me excited about a beat. And he plays it with this invigoration, if that's even a word. Like he's invigorating, you know, like he plays it with a different little zip to it.
Absolutely.
So,
you can see it, you know. We were going through videos on you yesterday, and we had a friend over, and we were turning her on to it, and that's when I was like texting you like, hey, come on, man, listen to the show.
Yeah.
And even the friend was like, wow, look at that drummer, man. He's really, really into it, and he's having a good time. You know, you can see it, you know, and driving the band behind you. It was good.
It's cool really that's a huge part of the energy you feed off too. Because I mean, you bring the energy too. So I mean, if you're in a band where the guys is making you feel like that, and you're not just putting on, you know, the show, that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
it's definitely like we all feed off of each other on stage. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us, do you have one of those Spinal Tap moments from touring, gigging?
Yeah,
we all do. I know we all do.
I guess I could tell the story of how I snapped the headstock on a brand new guitar that.
All right, let's hear that.
Yeah, so we saw Jordan in New York City, and you know, it was a cool guitar night all around, but you had a really, really nice new, oh my God, no, I can't even think. Anyway, tell your story.
So right before the tour, my casino, which I've been using for years, was kind of cacking out on me a little bit, and like, it wasn't proven to be the most reliable guitar.
We love them.
Yeah. And so we got this big tour, and I was like, what do I do? So I actually reached out to the company, and they were really sweet, Heritage guitars.
Beautiful guitars.
And they were really nice. They gave me a 535, sorry. And so anyway, we played the first 3 shows, and then Washington, D.C., small stage. We had to put our gear in front of Big Rec. But it was like a really small stage this night. So it was like a little hard to move around. Crowd was great. We had a good show. By the end, I wanted to maybe go out and see about a crowd surf, which I'm sort of coming to terms with, like maybe a guy who's 6'4" and 200 pounds shouldn't be jumping out on people anymore, but that's exactly what they were doing. They were saying, no, don't come out here, don't jump on us. And so I said, okay, I'm not gonna. And it was when I turned around, my foot caught the wedge, and I took a spill, snapped the neck of the guitar, and my head and neck fell into Colin's road case. And he has a Soldano Lucky 13, which it's basically the size of a twin reverb, if you haven't seen it. Yeah. And it starts teetering and tottering on the road case. I'm right below it. There's a picture of me like kind of like holding my hands out like this, and there's this miserable look on my face because I was really sad that the guitar broke. I literally cried.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad. It could have actually broken my spine if it fell on me, because
Right.
the heaviness of the amp and the way that I was like I didn't notice it was teetering at the time. Like the bass player told me after. So I was just like trying to keep face because the guitar broke, and I was like, shit. But like if it fell, I wouldn't have been ready for it. So
No,
Yeah.
that's a lot of amp to hit you. I mean,
It is.
You know,
It is. And I remember I saw that picture, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a picture you just described about you having your hands up, and it was just after it snapped. Somebody had posted it up on the Big Wreck group on Facebook, who was run by James, right, Tommy? That's
yeah.
yeah,
Great group. And
great
and
group.
again,
Because
the reason I asked is because, you know, we had continued talking about the show, and all of a sudden, you know, we saw that you had snapped the neck, and like, oh shit. And you know, you showed the picture that James put up. I'm like, wow.
yeah. So
It's,
we've been following and stalking you for a while. So you know,
Yeah. So thanks.
this
for
isn't a
being
chance meeting.
yeah, man, that's honestly like, I don't know if people ever get weird about that shit, but like for me, it's like that's the whole point. You know, we hope that
Absolutely.
we hope when we go and take, you know, when we come and do the tours, we hope that more people react this way, and that we get to know more people. And I mean, yeah, next time we come to New York, I'm sure we'll hang out and
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
have a beer and chill and just talk more gear and geek out. You can check out our
you geek out even more. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll bring some pedals to trade.
bring me an
Oh,
OCD to try out.
Yeah, I got to
But-
figure out how to get one of those JoJo's. So anyway, but it's the songs too. I mean, dude, it's the songs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna reach the people because your songs are that good. So
Thank you. Means
Absolutely.
a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go to one of our other segments. How about this is the section we call the one that got away. Do you have a piece of gear that you sold, you got stolen, you needed a hooker, so you sold it for, you know, like $10, you know, or you know,
depending upon the hooker,
yeah,
blow. You know.
yeah, you know,
yeah, no, I've never ended up selling anything for drugs or anything really shady. I sold. This is what I did when we started the band. I didn't really have like a good electric guitar, and so, but I did have this microcord that I'd been using my whole career up until that point for like MIDI, and also using it in my basement rig, just like a synth, right?
Yeah.
right,
So I'll never forget this. I was visiting my parents who lived in Switzerland at the time, and my friend Kyle, I had him break into my house in London, Ontario, take my keyboard, sell it to this guy for like $400 or something, and then send me the money so that I could put a deposit on this telly that's right behind me now.
Yeah.
I still have it.
Oh, we had to see that because Joey loves telly.
yeah. I got a telly problem.
Great telly. This is just a Mexican telly, but I don't know what there is about it.
Hey, they are all
Nothing
good.
wrong with that, man.
Oh, you know what? That's a white one. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't. I have my white one. That's a Mexican telly, but I don't have it here. It's at my other studio. Same setup. Same setup.
Nice.
Got a humbucker
Yeah,
up top.
This fucker the guy added after, and it's
Yeah.
like, it sounds
Same with
amazing.
mine.
It never goes off this position, but
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
telly. It was. I don't regret it, but now I'm trying to find another microcorg on.
Right.
Right.
It's not like
Yeah.
we were. Some
I
of the
think I
things
have
we got
one
rid
here.
of, we were like, it was the thing I had to do at the time. Now
Yeah.
how do I get it back?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, that's very funny because I have that same telly. The only thing with mine is I put one of those stacked humbuckers in the back because I can't stand the 60 cycle hum, and obviously I split the controls around so it's 2 volumes, and it's just 2 volumes. There's no tone. I took the tone out.
that's the
and-
same thing with this, man.
Did it really?
So it's this knob controls the single coil,
Yeah.
and this one controls the buck.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you can
Now,
blend them.
if you
too.
took
That's
that
freaking
and flipped
cool.
it,
It's
that's
all
mine.
about the blend, man. The blend is
Yeah.
like, it's
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah,
that's
because
what-
the blend will give you the tone difference.
That's why I, Les Pauls and stuff. I love the middle position, man. I
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
work the shit out of that. Like
That's where I ride the I ride my Heritage too.
Yeah.
Middle
Yeah. The only thing difference in yours and mine is I just took the control plate and flipped it, so the switch is in the back, and I flipped it, so that's the only
pretty
difference.
cool. So you don't hit it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't hit it, and so what I did is the bridge volume is the one I will ride more. So the bridge volume is the one that's all the way by my finger.
Right.
So it's actually kind of it's if you're thinking about it, it's actually a reverse. You would probably want the neck one up closer to the neck, but I don't have it that way. Just because, OCD and shit,
Yeah.
Just because I spend more time riding on that, with my pinky, because it's right there then.
Yeah.
See, I know you're going to do that next. Next time you're in New York, I'll be like, hey, look what I did to my telly.
It is a pretty good idea to flip it around. I was just
It is to get it.
A lot of guys flip them. A lot of guys do.
Joey showed me that. I'm going, wow, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
One thing Leo didn't get right. Everything else he seemed to have
I
fucking
think
nailed.
my other ones are all stock. That's the one I play with the most. Yeah, my Kotzen back there, that's stock. I didn't change that one, but I should. So
He would know.
yeah. Do you have a piece of gear that because we're all about the gear stuff? Do you have anything that's new to you, or something that's maybe driving you crazy? Like for me, I always go on and on about that. I play a lot of Les Pauls. That G string thing is always fucking bothering me. That's why I always end up going to my tellies all the time, because they don't have the problem with the G string. Do you have anything that's like maybe a new pedal or something new, or new microphone?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of gear during COVID because
Yeah, didn't we all?
I know. I just got a new acoustic, a Larrabee OM 03, I think, or 02.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I love that. And then I just got the 7B, the microphone. I'm stoked on that.
Yeah.
That's been a game changer.
Yeah.
With the cloud lifter, of course.
Okay.
And then
Wait. What's the cloud lifter?
It's basically, the way I understand it, just boosts the signal a few dB.
Okay.
It's kind of a quiet mic, so
Yeah.
when I
Okay.
was first using it, it was super quiet. I had to crank my preamp, and then it was buzzing a bit. So
Okay.
Right.
this cloud lifter gives me the extra gain, I guess.
Cool. I was gonna try to let that go by, like I knew what you're talking about, but I was like, maybe somebody else doesn't either.
Just couldn't do
I
it.
always ask. I always just ask. So many things fly by my head. Yeah, just a bunch of gear. Yeah, I got a new guitar, but I don't have it yet because my uncle actually sold it to me, and he's in the States, so I'm waiting till we can see each other again. But
Okay.
yeah, I do now have a 335, a Gibson.
Ooh,
335.
nice.
Ooh.
I'm really excited about that, but I'm trying to suppress my excitement because I know it could be months still until I get my hands on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you guys, do you have nothing scheduled for tour or anything? No ideas yet, right?
Yeah, we were tossing around an idea of me going out doing an acoustic run.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because of the restrictions with, it's like all this shit about if you have more than one person on a stage, you have to have partitions and plexiglass and like so
we
the
have
idea
Andrew
was that-
Cuomo, so we understand. Believe me, we don't.
Yeah.
No.
the idea, but I think that there's now kind of going to be an issue doing that. So I don't know. That was supposed to be February, so we'll see what happens. But right now, the real plan is I'm going to get back to Ontario when I can, and we're going to get recording this next bunch of songs.
Yeah.
Really excited about that.
Yeah, it's exciting. That's
Xavier
awesome.
was just saying he got that Spark. I bet that's that Spark amp, right? Isn't like everybody on Facebook buy that amp? Isn't that the Spark one?
He just got the bias thing.
I think so.
Yeah, Spark Bias. Yeah. Is that
Yeah,
it?
that's really cool. Positive Grid.
Yeah.
I have bias, like the plugin, like the FX2 plugin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've been pretty happy with it, but like we use the Kemper, the Kemper stuff.
Yeah.
Our bass player has one of those, so we use that when we do our guitars.
Shit, you got to be rich, man. Holy shit. That's like Tommy's money. Tommy's got that type of money. I don't have that money.
Oh God,
As I'm sitting here, I don't even look at my gear. That's just, I know it's insane.
Yeah, Yeah, are there 3 heads back there, Joey?
Yeah, that's there's a 90s Marshall SLX. There's an 80s 800,
Nice.
and then that's actually a 73 JMP that is so fucking loud, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Nice.
And then I got the Supro back there, that's the Black Magic, and then the other little combo over there is the Bogner Shiva. That's one
Nice.
of the which is ridiculously heavy. That's about 100 pounds, and it's just a 112. It's ridiculous, but I've never heard a 112 sound like a 4x12. You usually have to get that huge cabinet sound out of those, but this has got it's a ported cabinet. It's sealed and ported, so any of the bass woofs out the front too. So it's really cool.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah.
But it's even heavier in a road case.
Yeah. It has to be on wheels. I can't do it, man.
It's fun.
I'm a $165 soaking wet, so I can't do that thing.
Yeah.
I have over here I have a 1987 Jubilee 112, and the cabinet itself with the 112 is just not done correctly. You put this thing into a 212 or a 412, and the amp is just a monster.
Yeah.
But I've also mixed put a 112 closed back with this and run them both, and it actually seems to work out pretty well. But by itself, it's a weird amp, and it's the original V30 speaker in it, but it's just, I don't know, it's just something about that. But I have an early 80s JCM 800 212, which is an open back, but sounds great, but it's 110 pounds. You can't, it's just, you want to do what's easy. Then, I have a 18-watt Reinhardt that weighs 10 pounds. It's easier to move for everything.
Yeah.
It sounds like a blasting Marshall. So.
Yeah.
But it's what you want to bring to a gig and what you want to do. I mean, 412 cabinets. There's nothing like a 412 cabinet. There's nothing like 2 412 cabinets. Right?
Yeah.
So, but those days, you really have to be starting to play the bigger. You need big venues again. And we need venues. So, as you were saying, you were going to do some acoustic shows. What's the current capacity that they're talking about, other than you're a single acoustic player? What are they talking about capacity for any sort of venue like that?
At the time, it was a 50 cap, so that's why we were thinking about doing like a little brewery coffee shop run.
Yeah.
Right.
And but I'm not even sure now if people are going to be comfortable coming out.
Right.
Because, just because of like the health aspect of it all.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is now we're closing the club. I mean, the windows are closed now, right? And the heat systems and people are already shutting. There's a whole.
Yeah.
And like I had a gig booked back in Ontario, and it was going to be outside, even though it's like December 9th or something. It's like my poor hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get those the little heat thingies.
Yeah, the skiers.
Yeah, the skiers thing. I've used them, man, and they work for gigs like that. So you just keep them in your pocket and just and just do it.
Ian always had those.
They get hot.
Yeah, and we played another show with them actually during COVID, a drive-in show up here in Canada.
Okay.
You did a drive-in, okay.
Yeah, and it was kind of cold, and he had those in his jacket, and he kept before the show. I don't know if he used them on stage, but before the show, he was keeping his hands warm. So I imagine you guys realize how important that is for you.
Yeah.
Not so much for us, but for you.
No, yeah. There's not much that makes me sound better. So
my hands were freezing that night, and I could still do the minimal chording I had to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We try.
All right, so we'll go to our last segment, and then we'll. I'm also at the end because just in case we get that cut off, I am going to play the song that turned me on to you guys because I saw it live. I'm going to put Flowers the Young. I'm going to do a live version, so hopefully no record companies will cut it off. So, so we have the section at the end. We call it the fuck you. We can do it the fuck you or thank you, depending on how nice you are. And it's really only meant as a compliment for whoever we give this compliment fuck you to. So what we'll do is we'll do an example first. Tommy, who could you have for a fuck you? I mean, we've been talking about Ian. Are you going there?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely, because seeing him for 20 plus years play and just blow me away every single time I see him, and just his songwriting, and as you pointed out, Jordan, even just trying to keep up with his singing, that's
impossible in its own right.
Impossible. I mean, people, Chris Cornell is probably one of the greatest voices of rock, and Ian is probably right there with him with the strength, the power, and the songwriting, right?
And if you want to know, also just to touch on this, it was quite intimidating being the lead singer in the band, and we arrived in some upstate New York city, Watertown, I think it was, the first one, and I hear these smatterings that Ian's got a sore throat or like he got sick or something, and I was like, oh no, like hopefully everything's good to go still for the tour, like.
Yeah.
And then he goes up on stage that night, and it's just like, I thought you were feeling under the weather.
I've never felt that good.
Yeah. It's like, geez. So, yeah, even on his sick days, it didn't sound sick.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. All right. So I'll do a fuck you. One I haven't touched on before, I got to give a fuck you to Izzy Stradlin. He was such an integral part of Guns N' Roses that, and just cool as fuck, man. Like you could do the Juju was, the Juju Hounds album is Shuffle It All, man. That he has just got that Keith Richards thing going on, and he's got his own thing going on, and just cool as fuck. And knew when it was time to, what, I'm out, guys, and didn't get enough. I mean, I guess for guitar players, he did get enough credit. I mean, we most of us know how integral he was to Guns N' Roses. Not saying Slash is not what Slash is, because he is amazing, but you had two top-line guitar players in there, and Izzy did a lot more solos than people think.
People need to go back and listen to that stuff in headphones, because they are, they became the modern, Joe Perry, Brad Whitford, where it was two different things going on, two distinct sounds, two distinct parts. Yep. And a lot of people didn't, other people growing up on Judas Priest, a lot of times those guys were just doubling parts, right? And it was like coming at you like, these guys, is it it was such an interweaving of stuff, but so distinct. And yeah, you're right. Izzy doesn't get the credit.
Yeah.
A lot of times you've got a guy who's just super cool, laid back, and you've got, Slash and Axl just doing the forefront thing. But yeah, there's, and we could say fuck you to him a lot. And the Juju Hound records are, that first record, all of them are untouchable. Rick Richards. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, Izzy, love you, brother. Fuck you. Good work. All right. Jordan, who do you got? You can do a thank you. I mean, just do a fuck you because we're from New York anyway.
I got a 2-part answer. I'm gonna give my fuck you to Tommy because he has 5 OCDs.
That's good.
And it's a red one.
And I will do a thank you. I think just bringing up the good times we had on tour. I think I just want to thank the whole Big Wreck crew and band, and especially Ian overall, because we talk about him as we should. He's such a legend. I mean, especially in Canada, and just skill wise as one thing, but like the thing that really blew me away is that like right when I met him was it was like this like big brother little brother thing, you know, like he took me right under his wing, and it was a good time. We learned so much about etiquette and about being professionals on the road, and from their crew. Like we did some stuff the first nights, like walking out when they're still spiking the mic stands and stuff. Like they could have sent us home, you know. Like,
right.
So it was just really nice. Like they'd be like, yo, like just like in a very gracious way, like stay off till you get the thumbs up from the trainer, then you know you're good. And that helped, and like it's just stuff you can carry forward. So a big thank you to the whole Big Rec organization, and yeah.
That's great. We're hoping to get them on. We've reached out to them as well, and we have heard things in the background that they've been checking on us, so to make sure that we're not just assholes. Now we are assholes, but we also we do take this very seriously too. I mean, you know, we do like to joke around here, but you know, like we're trying to help promote guys like your band isn't well known down here, so you know, if we can help that out a little bit, I mean. Yeah, we got a few people already, so you know, let's keep it going. All right.
Well, just want to you know, love sharing great songs with people too, and great musicianship and just you know, great energy. People need to see, you know, bands like you guys and say, you know, this is new. These are new guys coming up. These are, you know, I know you guys love the Stones. God help us, right? But you know what? See some other stuff and see some things like this that are so good. So thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for being on the show and stuff. But yeah, great.
Yeah. It was fun geeking out with you guys a little bit.
I know. We try. We do love that. We don't want to drive everybody crazy, but we just love guitars and stuff. And
yeah.
Well, it's good. You always, when you're out touring, you get to run into other guitar geeks every night and stuff. But I miss that element of the road
we're all missing that. That's why this works out for us, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like hell, we had Billy Sheehan on last week. I mean, you know, or Montalbano on last week and Billy on the week before. I mean, you get people like they just want to talk, you know, like they're missing people too. So it's great.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
So all right, let's sign off. Jordan, stay where you're at. Okay. I'm gonna pop on this song that turned me on to them, and only because I remembered it live. So if you can remember a song live, that says something. All right. So this is Flowers. I'm putting on a live version, so hopefully it doesn't get clipped. All right. So just hang out and watch this.
Why can't you sleep, no, alone, don't bother me, I'm ready to explode. Woo. Can't you see that this is all you'd ever want? Boy, it's all you'll never know. Come on, I promise that